Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Drone Owners Network Live. I'm your host, Curtis. Joining me from Houston, Texas is Randy Foster. Over there on the East Coast, it's Tommy Polo with all the latest drone news. And from Norway, it's Stig Idesol. We have got another great show for you. This week, we've got Eivind Lee from Wiral. He's here to talk about his new cable cam. That's next.
Charge your batteries, lock in those props, and check that airspace. Join us live. This is the Drone Owners Network.
Hi, everybody. We are back live once again. The show that cannot be stopped. Yeah, we are ready to go. So right off the top of the bat, let's do some little cleanup stuff. Last week we were attempting to do a simulcast with some good friends of ours over at Coast to Coast Drones, and we had a little bit of an issue. We think we've kind of worked through that. What we were trying to do was broadcast on two YouTube channels at the same time. There's some proprietary software we need to get and some things we need to work out, but we are going to make this happen. I've never seen anybody broadcast live on two channels at the same time, and the important part here is live. It's not recorded. So we're gonna be attempting to do that. As far as the show from last week, we've got a great response from that. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing, by the way. The show last week, we promised that none of us had ever flown with the FT Aviator before, and Scott said he would like to meet with us, and we set up a meeting between James, our producer of the show, Randy Foster, and Mark Mulkey, and they had a little meeting in Houston. We recorded that, but of course that happened today, so we don't have that video just yet. It's in the process of being edited, and we're going to show that at a future date. But we can jump in real quick and kind of get maybe an overview from Randy. Randy was down there today and met up with Scott. Randy, any preliminary thoughts you want to talk about?
Yeah, good meetup. We met up with Scott, and actually Scott's kind of co-founder of Fluidity Tech, as well as some of the other guys that are part of his team, and what a neat experience that was. Scott he's an astronaut, and it's pretty cool. I don't know how many times people out there get to hang out with astronauts, but it's a real treat. So yeah, we got to hang out with him and get our hands on it and see what it would do and just kind of play around. It was an absolutely gorgeous day in Houston. The winds were like 2 miles an hour. No clouds. It was picture perfect. You couldn't have dialed in the weather any better. And we had a ball. We really did. And we all got to have our way with it and play around with it. And we flew a Phantom 4 with it. We flew a Mavic with it. And it's really an interesting device. And I'll say that when they're ready to release it, it's going to be pretty awesome. It really is. So it'll be fun. So once that happens, we're holding on to that video. It was shot today. We are going to cut it together and make it really nice for you guys. We're going to show off the app. We're showing off how the device connects, how it flies, the impressions, how you feel when you fly it, things like that. And we're gonna show that to you guys soon. So stay tuned. It'll be fun. Yeah,
we had three of our staff members that were there, so that was really cool. And we're going to give our unbiased opinion on what we think of that thing. So let's keep this show rolling. I think Tommy's over there. Is Tommy, you all queued up and ready to go and do your thing today?
Sure, what the hey.
All right, it's time for some breaking news. And here with your breaking news. I don't know if it's breaking or not, but it's news. Here, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tommy Polo.
Thank you, Curtis. Tommy here with the Drone Owners Network Live News. As far as breaking, maybe within a week, maybe within a month. We'll see. Let's see what we got. Stories this week. We have Parrot releases a thermal drone. DJI puts out a new Mavic 2 update, dual controller stuff. Some numbnut flies his drone over Fenway Park. Thanks for that. Verity Studios has thousands of logged flights right over people's heads. That one was my favorite. And last but not least, the tragedy of Notre Dame did draw the attention of some drones. But first in Florida man. In Florida, the Collier County Sheriff's Office deployed 6 drones in a grid to help locate a 77-year-old man who reportedly suffered from some health and some mental challenges and he was lost for about 2 hours when the sheriff's office was contacted. The sheriff's office deployed their drones, divided the search area into a grid, deployed 6 drones to search for the missing man. But what stands out in this story is not just the fact that the drones were used on the search, but that the CCSO has a dedicated drone operations unit that methodically executes the search and uses multiple drones to find missing persons faster. I hope this story gets picked up by many police and fire departments around the country and around the world, obviously. Would be nice, as it is a great example of how drones can be successfully used. And according to DJI, this is at least the 228th person around the world has been rescued with the help of a drone. And on a side note, over in London, Socks the dog was rescued after he was apparently hit by a car close to Lanelli Beach, and he was found by Jamie Jewell, a volunteer drone SAR for Lost Dogs UK. He spent about 20 minutes searching with the drone before he spotted Socks curled up in a ball, got in touch with the family, and he was returned safely, which was very nice. What else we got? Next up, everything was stacked up on me now, of course. The French drone industry heavyweight, Parrot. Now, is it Parrot or Parrot? We'll just say with Parrot.
I think it's Parrot. I've always said Parrot.
I know that, like, the French language, they used to silent their T's and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Parrot has announced the launch of a new commercial drone, the Anafi Thermal. This model is based on an adapted version of the folding Anafi platform and combines a FLIR radiometric thermal imaging unit with the standard 4K camera. The Anafi Thermal will retail for around $1,900, which is a $1,200 increase over the cost of the regular $700 Anafi, which was released last summer. This one will come with 2 spare batteries, a multi-battery charger, a controller, and a carrying case, and looks like it will be available in May. The new Anafi Thermal uses the FLIR lepton infrared sensor, which I believe the Mavic 2 Dual uses. Everybody confirm that? I'm not a big Mavic guy. I got this back here. But that means it will be capable of shooting regular 4K video, HDR plus photos and videos, and a 3x zoom along with the thermal imaging. And as on Wednesday, the next story here, on the 17th, DJI released a new Mavic 2 firmware update. The previous update was released late January and introduced waypoints to the Mavic 2, among other things. This update introduces a dual remote controller mode, a feature that will be appreciated mostly by professional users such as filmmakers, police, firemen, and search and rescue operations. DJI in this update also fixed some smaller issues that had to do with making sure that the correct GPS information is displayed when viewing photos on a computer. And it fixed abnormal gimbal movement after completing a quick shot rocket. Can somebody tell me what that is?
Well, let's back up just a second. That dual, so you being an FPV pilot and using Taranis and stuff like that, that's a really, really important thing, because now one of the things that a lot of people are scared about doing is flying for the very first time. And when you're with this current configuration, now you can go out and fly, and it's called a buddy box. So you with this new configuration, you can set up a second RC. The main pilot, or the pilot in control, the pick as we like to call it, can put you up in the air. You'll have your own remote. When you get up in the air, you can release the controls. Of course, it's going to hover. It's got GPS. But now you can take over the controls. If you start to get in trouble, he can immediately use his sticks, and automatically he will take over. So it's a complete buddy box system, and this is great for new pilots. I didn't want to interrupt your news, but you weren't saying that, and I thought that was really important that we kind of get that in there.
I did want to get that in there, yeah, because okay. I didn't read about that part. I looked for more of some information, but that's pretty neat. That's like that spare brake pedal on the passenger side of the driver's ed car. Exactly.
So it does there are some really cool features about it. In fact, that you could use a separate camera op, so that one guy's flying and one guy's able to control the camera. I have not tried this myself. I've just kind of been looking into it lately, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be able to do it as well as camera rotation, not only pitch, but rotation as well. It's not going to be a full rotation. You're limited by what the Mavic 2 Pro can do, and Zoom can do. And I don't know if the new RC is going to be able to be utilized in this as well. I think there's a firmware update coming for that one. I'm not 100% for sure. If it does, that'll be one heck of a combination to have right there. I didn't mean to interrupt your news, but it didn't seem like you were covering that, so I wanted to go back and make sure that you hit on that. And back to the news with Tommy Polo.
Thank you, Curtis.
You're
Back
welcome.
to me now. Okay, let's moving on. Well, obviously, if you looking into dual remote stuff and you haven't done this update yet, get on it. But that brings us to our real winner of a story here. A juvenile was the one actually operating the drone that flew over Fenway Park during the game between Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. The drone was seized as a result of joint investigation that included the Boston Police, the State Police, the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, and the FAA. The investigation remains ongoing, and it was not announced yet, as far as I've seen, as of last night, if the unnamed juvenile will face criminal charges or not. The unidentified drone hovered over the playing field at Fenway, causing a bit of a ruckus. It was enough of a distraction that Red Sox first baseman Mitch Moreland had to step out of the batter's box for a moment when he noticed the flying object during his ninth inning at bat. It kind of threw me off, Moreland was quoted saying. I looked up and was like, they're not supposed to have these around here, are they? I figured I'd try to hit it or something, he says. Well, anyway, the Red Sox did win 7-6. And we all know, and if you're watching and you don't know, don't do stupid shit like that. You know, especially if you have your FAA, you know better because you were like very versed in that. And if you don't, and you heard it here, now you know. Moving on. Verity Studios AG is a pioneer in autonomous drones. Autonomous meaning they fly on their computer program. They sit, okay, go, and it goes and it does its thing, and you sit back and watch. You don't have to control it yourself. They're a pioneer in autonomous drones and in flights over people. This is neat. Verity Studios is the team behind amazing drone shows at concerts, festivals, and events like Cirque du Soleil, Drake's most recent tour, and Metallica concerts. They have over 7,000 flights over people under their belts, and Verity thinks they've cracked the code, pun intended, to making these flights. The patented fail-safe solution provides powerful and cost-effective safety enhancements to any, this is key words here, any consumer and commercial quadcopter drone platform, says Verity Studios. This program allows drone manufacturers to easily implement the fail-safe algorithm. And they've copyrighted named this fail-safe, their thing here. The program allows drone manufacturers to implement this fail-safe algorithm into their drones as a standalone or complementary safety solution to guard against the most common cause of system error crashes, which is propulsion system failures. ESCs, motors, broken props flying apart, that kind of stuff. Verity's fail-safe algorithm can be implemented into existing quadcopters flying in the air today through a simple firmware update. This cracks me up. They have all this stuff available, and it's like, you want to save it? You got to pay for it.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not? But it can be implemented. The code-based solution requires no additional hardware and adds no weight to the system, making it the lowest cost and highest efficiency risk mitigation feature currently on the market. And Verity is quoted saying, when a fail-safe enabled drone has a propulsion system failure, instead of spinning out of control and crashing to the ground, the drone stays in the air, stabilizing itself using the sophisticated algorithms and can be safely navigated to an appropriate landing location. You got to look up Verity, Verity, and then Verity come up with something, but you got to put Verity drone and watch the video on this thing. These things, the way they fly these things are amazing. I watched, there was one thing with the Cirque du Soleil they had, it looked like, I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like the Beauty and the Beast when they're dancing and all the stuff's going on. They have drones decorated as lampshades, and they're flying around. They're moving this way, they're moving that way. It was beautiful. It really was beautiful. It was amazing. They were doing better than the couple that was dancing, the human. But then it switched to show how they do these things. They got this flying lampshade in the air, and then you got this little person down there with a hoodie and safety goggles, and their sleeves are pulled over their hands with a 8-foot 2x4, and this thing's flying, and she just jams this thing right into the middle of it. And you see the thing, obviously it took out a motor or something, and you see it starts spinning out of control before it hits the ground. And it only dropped about 2 feet, what it looked like. It caught itself in a controlled spin, and we're going to go over here and land it. It was pretty amazing. The speed at which it caught itself from a failure, the fact that it could, obviously it's going to try to spin, it's going to try to spin faster and faster and faster, but it was a controlled spin. It only got, maybe that fast, if you can see that. And they had full control, and they could take it right over. They could land it out of harm's way. Nobody got hurt. Anything over anybody's head it's no big deal. It was neat. I would highly recommend checking that out. And of course, on my next story, I know we've all heard the tragedy that befell Notre Dame Cathedral in France. The Parisian firefighters used DJI drones to track the progression of the Notre Dame fire and to find the best positions to aim the fire hoses using the drones. They were flying a Mavic Pro and a Matrice M210 over Notre Dame Cathedral, and it was very easy for them to get the essential data for taming the flames. Notre Dame de Paris was severely damaged by the fire that ravaged the roof, spire, stained glass window, and the pipe organ. Police say the fire was likely an accident caused by ongoing renovation work. I'm sure you've seen the pictures, scaffolding all over the place. The fire brigade spokesperson, Gabriel Plus, told local media that drones were instrumental in saving the cathedral structure. Drones allowed us to correctly use what we had at our disposal. And typically, drones aren't allowed to fly in Paris at all, and they're geofenced to prevent any flying whatsoever. But the restrictions were removed when they contacted DJI to cooperate with the authorities. They got it done. They got it quick. They got it, they were able to fly up in the air, see what they had to see, get where they had to get. It worked well. They were quoted, Mr. Plus was quoted, "The mission was delicate and they intelligently called for Parisian police drone unit cell," which they have their own drone unit, which is dedicated to professional drone pilots ready to intervene in critical missions. And the drones were borrowed from France's culture and interior ministries, as all their firefighters over there, they don't have their own equipment over there yet. But our beloved guest, Romeo Dersher, and DJI's Director of Public Safety Integration, was able to weigh in on the subject. I stumbled across a tweet that read, this is Romeo's quote, "Learning that emergency response for Notre Dame also included the use of drones made me feel good. Then seeing a female operator made me proud. Both individually are not common, but both together are even less. Such a difficult incident to deal with, and it was done with exemplary." It's a very nice statement from an amazing guy and a great guest. Which brings us to my relevant wrap-up. Women in Drones is proud to announce the 3rd annual Women to Watch in UAS. Honorees selected for Women to Watch Award will be recognized in one of the following categories: Innovation Award, a Leadership Award, Education Award, and a Humanitarian Award, Drones for Good, and an Entrepreneurial Award. Nomination forms must be submitted by Friday, May 3rd. And important criteria for consideration if you want to nominate somebody, nominees must be currently employed in the UAS industry. Nominators must select at least one of the 5 categories for the person they are nominating. Honoree profiles will be published on womenanddrones.com. All selections of the nomination form must be completed for consideration. More information and nominee forms can be found at womenanddrones.com. All one word.
We'll put that in the comments below. So is it okay?
Excellent.
Is it okay if we talk about Abby and stuff the ballot? And probably not.
Honestly, I don't think she wanted to participate this year. I have to double check with her, but when I said, "Oh, good, I'm going to nominate you," because she was the one that told me about this.
Right.
I said, "Oh, good, I'll throw your name right in there." She's like, "Yeah, thanks, but I don't think so."
She likes to kind of stay in the background. By the way, Abby couldn't be with us today. She's at home with family and everything. So, but yeah, we love her and miss her.
Yes, we do. But that is today's edition of the Drone Owners Network Live News. I'm Tommy Polo. Curtis, back to you.
Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate it. Well, if there's one thing this show does, and we can guarantee you, actually there's several, we can guarantee you a great show. We can guarantee you me to at some point in time wear a Seahawks shirt and make Doug upset about it. And we can guarantee that I will always mispronounce the guest's name. That's all there is to it. I don't see any way around this. But we do have some great guests on, and a lot of them are being brought to us by my good friend Stig Idesal, which I've been mispronouncing for God knows how long. I've known the guy for 10 years, and I've always said Idesal, and he's never said anything to me. So we had a little lesson the other day, and he says in Norway, the I's are pronounced like a long E, like a E-E. So it's Stig Idesal. Hopefully I have that corrected. I have to relearn now the way I've done this stuff. So he suggests to me, he says, "Here's how you pronounce our guest's name." And he wrote it out for me, and I did our little intro that we did on our show. And I said, it's Eivind Lee. Well, apparently Eivind Lee is not the way you pronounce his name. So I would like to invite and say hello to our guest. And Stig, if you would be so kind as to correctly pronounce his name for me, I would appreciate it.
Oh, his correct way to say his name is Eivind.
Eivind Lee. Eivind, thank you very much, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Can you turn your mic up just a little bit? Is that possible? Because I can just
Let me see. Is there,
While he's working on that, one of the things I want to tell you guys about is he and some friends, from what I understand, have created this amazing little contraption, and the idea has been around for a long time. If you're any kind of football fan, you know all about cable cams.
hello.
Oh yeah, that works great. That's good. That'll work. We can hear
Okay,
you there.
thanks.
If you watch any kind of football shows, you've seen an advanced cable cam system that attaches to the 4 different corners, and they're able to put the camera right over the football players. And as soon as the ball snaps, of course, they get it out of the way so the play can take place and nothing gets interfered. But it gets you right into the scene. And one of the one of the things that a lot of guys are trying to do right now with drones, or they're trying to do inside stuff. And I myself have been asked, hey, can you do this, and then can you fly through the house? And I'm like, well, I could take my camera and walk it through the house, but it's still not quite the same. And Eivind has come up with a very, very nice solution that's affordable, that uses just about every kind of small action camera that's on the market right now, including GoPros, including the new Pocket Pro. And I don't want to take away everything from here. I want to turn this over to Stig, because Stig has been talking with Eivind for quite a while. I'm going to let you guys kind of chat about this and tell us all about this amazing product.
Yeah, I think Eivind, you could maybe tell us a little bit about the history behind the Wiral, and while I'm playing a video of the video we talked about, while you speak.
Sure.
I'm just putting that up and sharing my screen in a second.
Sure. Not sure which video you're gonna show, but let's do it.
So what I'm going to play now is a video that shows the background for the history you telling.
Okay, that one, yeah. That's a good one.
So are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Roll.
Yeah, so the history behind the project was that one of our co-founders, he wanted to film his wedding, and he wanted to use this cable cam that Curtis talked about, like a professional one, but there was no like affordable or easy to use way of doing this. So he decided like, because he's a product developer, so he wanted to just make this himself. But he didn't have time to do it for his own wedding. So then he thought like, okay, maybe we should try to make this product available for everyone. Maybe there's other people that wants this product. And so maybe I think 2.5 years later, we filmed this clip with a prototype of our product in his friend's wedding. So that's the short story behind that clip. And that was initially how the idea sparked for Wiral Lite, which is our first product.
We should tell the people also that it was filmed with an iPhone on the Wiral.
This was filmed with an iPhone 10, and as you probably all know, it has like this optical image stabilization, which gives it a lot of jitter in the footage that you get from high frequency shake that you could get from this line. So we actually developed a damper for smartphones, because all smartphones now comes with this optical image stabilization.
Oh, I can show it.
Yeah, even better.
I got it here.
This is
so we actually, because we're a startup company, and we're like beginners in everything we're doing, kind of. And we designed this product, and I was just going to test it actually with the iPhone 10 because it just released and we heard it was amazing. And I fired it up on our unit and tested it in our offices, and I just realized it was not usable at all. It was so much jitter because of this optical image stabilization. And we just had to turn around and develop this damper to deal with this problem. So
can I interrupt?
I don't know if it came up clear, but can you see it now when I'm holding it up?
Yeah.
So it's made with wires to make the dampening for the phone.
Oh, okay.
Can we back
So
up
it's
just?
quite neat.
Can we back up just a second, Stig? Ewan,
Yeah.
how old are you, and when did you? Where are you located? Where's this company located at? Because you're looking pretty young to me to be starting up a company.
Yeah, so I'm 26, and my fellow, I'm not like the initial founder, but I'm like sorry, I'm at my cabin, and there's like this Easter holiday in Norway, which is so this is my mom entering the room. But
Hi, Mom.
sorry.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, she's trying to get a quarter or something. Du må gå ut. Nei, det går bra. Sorry,
It's
He
live.
told his mom to leave the room.
yeah, I just talked for the Norwegian.
Don't go there.
Did she have chocolate?
I don't know what's that.
Did she have chocolate?
Oh yeah, she didn't bring chocolate, but I wish she had.
So yeah, I was thinking you're an awful young guy to be starting a company, and this is really pretty cool. I think that's really neat. And you're in Norway, and the company is based in Norway. Is what you're telling us?
Yeah, so we have our main office in Oslo, and in Norway. So, but we're all like coming from this university in more northern in Norway, in Trondheim, where we all kind of studied together, and we founded this company about 3 or 3.5 years ago.
And you recently did a GoFundMe. Now, everybody's kind of leery of GoFundMes, but yours was very, very popular from what I understand. Can you tell us about the GoFundMe program that you did and how well it did?
Yeah, so we, in order to raise money for our production and to have the money to start production, we did this crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter. We worked so hard to get this all this material and all this marketing, and yeah, we did a lot to make sure that people had heard about it, or as much as possible. And we had this launch event where we launched the product and opened this Kickstarter funding. And I remember like being on the stage, and there was of course a lot of problems with the computer, and I couldn't get it up on the main screen, and there was a lot of people in the room. And I remember like standing up and like just sweating, and it's like I just managed to put up the picture, and that where you can see like the bar for how much you got already in, and it was already at $40,000 after like I don't remember, like 5 minutes or something.
That's
I was
amazing.
just baffled, and after I think it was 1 hour, it was $100,000, and ended up on 1.1 about approximately.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Super impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
So we were really stoked about that.
All right, Sig, I'm gonna let you take it back over. I just wanted to kind of cover that real quick.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because these Kickstarter campaigns also have some challenges. You probably experienced that, Eivind. People believe they order a product and not going into the Kickstarter.
That's a good point. A lot of our backers, they were the first time they ever supported like a Kickstarter GoFundMe campaign. And as Stig said, they thought they were actually ordering like a cable cam and that they would get it within 2 weeks. Like they were thinking they maybe were ordering from like a DJI company. Like maybe we got like emails, people like, where it is, like why don't you answer my emails? And we were like explaining like, sorry, we're 6 people here in Little Norway. We're trying to get back to all these 1,000 emails, and people are like, oh, I didn't know, sorry, I'm really stoked about this product, and thanks for bringing it to life. But yeah, people really didn't realize that we were a Kickstarter company, or like a really small.
Yeah, but now you're in full production.
Yeah, and so now we fulfilled our pre-orders, so we shipped about 7,000 units to 80 countries in the world. And now we're doing like ordinary sales. So we ended our pre-orders.
We haven't mentioned this in connection with the show, but you're also going to reveal a discount code for our viewers later on. Not now.
Okay,
let them wait. Let them wait.
We tease them here.
Yeah.
I would like to show some images of the product, so people can just get an idea of what we're talking about and how you can mount cameras on it. So I put up a small PowerPoint I made to show it. I just need to get it started. And this is I'm going to show what the Wiral Light package is about, and then I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've done while I'm testing this. And this is the personal.
While we're waiting on Stig, I want to say that Stig is the only one that has one of these. I'm chomping at the bit here to get one. This thing looks awesome.
I will say I got to play with one that was purchased on the Kickstarter program, and it's super, super cool. So I've had some fun with it.
That's really cool to hear.
The image is up now. You can see it.
Wow.
This is the Wiral Light kit that you start with. On the left side, you have the rope to run it on, and the way to a strap to tighten up the rope. And then you have the wagon, could I call it that? That goes on the rope, and you have the remote and charger and batteries and some end stops and mounts. It's really neat to work with. And in difference from the huge cable cams you can buy that cost a lot of money, you can very easily mount this up in a few minutes. And to give an idea, here you see it mounted with a mobile phone with a damper. So this is how that's made. This is outside my house. This is with the Osmo Plus, to give an idea, one way to mount it. This is the X5 mounted on the Osmo handle. And this is the Osmo Pocket in, I have to mention that part, in a exo cage. That's something we're going to talk about later in the show too. The exo cage is, this is a prototype of that cage, but makes it possible to mount the Pocket in several ways. It looks like this. It's made in aluminum instead of plastic, as many do. And here you got one of my inventions, to put on extender to get a longer range of the remote, so you can see on your phone or tablet what you're doing, and to prevent too much lag. I put on a USB power bank and a Wi-Fi repeater.
And so with this, you can control your Osmo Pocket. What did you say? Like, is it 200 meters or something?
I tested it on 200 meters, but I'm only running it on rope on 100 meters.
Yeah.
And that's important to know about this kit when you buy it. It's 50-meter rope that is standard, and 100-meter rope is extra equipment.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
That should be more than
you
enough.
also have a very good solution for that, rewinding the rope. That's very interesting to see, because I've grown up in fishing boats in Norway, and I recognized it immediately as a tool my father used to keep his fishing line on.
Yeah, that's we spend a lot of time to develop this fishing replica thing, which is basically like you can feed the line in and out through this rope reel, and then you also lock the rope reel. I don't have one with me here, but you also like lock and tighten the rope with the same system. Maybe Stig has like an example there.
I have it here. This is the old-fashioned way in the Norwegian fishing reel is like you use it like that, but it does added on this thing here. When you pull out the line and put it up, you lock it in, and you hang it by the hook like this, and you use the strap to tighten up the rope. Might look a bit weird that it's yellow line, but it's quite hard to see, and it's very easy to edit out of the video after. But there's also a way to rewind it. When you have 100 meters, you can't stand around and use it just like twist it on, because then you get twist on the rope too. Yeah. I made a little change on it. I put hook with a swivel on, so it can twist and take out the tension. But this is the 100 meter, and yellow. You also get black line to it. It's very. This is the neat thing. I've been working with setting up cable cam before, and you spend many hours to set up a cable cam. And on a short distance, like 20 to 50 meters, it's done in 10 minutes to set up this camera. Very easy. And I've been teasing the people in the Mavic 2 group with a video and asking them to guess what I have done. I can show you that video, but just for fun.
We got while you're pulling that up and getting ready to do that, we have a couple questions in the chat group there. Lauren asks, can it handle the weight of a good 35 millimeter Canon camera? What kind of weight can we carry on this thing?
That's a good question. It has a limit of 1.5 kilos or 3.3 pounds. So it depends on what Canon cameras is using. But yeah, if it's within 1.5 kilos or 3.3 pounds, you're good.
If you have the S100, you're fine.
Yeah.
I've been running Canon camera on it that's much heavier than 1.5 kilos.
Yep.
But then you need to be very careful and don't run it in too steep angle up the line, because then it will start spinning on the line and chewing on the line. So, but it's probably not recommended from Wiral to run more than that. So
I said 1.5 kilos.
Yeah, I've been testing.
Let it be noted that he said 1.5.
Yeah.
Stig is operating outside of the boundaries. He's modifying stuff.
Always.
But it has some really strict production and safety limits. So for sure it can handle this more. But that's like within all the regulations and safety limits.
Okay, I put up the video now.
Who's that guy?
I Mavic 2 a group with this one and saying I'm going to tell you how I did this flight. The idea behind showing this flight is actually a bit more. Oh, wrong video. There was an idea. I can't get hold of the next video here. I need to shut down this and start the next one. I made this video with it.
Wow, you really got that line up there, didn't you?
That's pretty amazing, Stig. How'd you get up there?
Yeah, but the idea was to fly the drone and then go over to the line and look how close I'm to my head. The idea is to use the seamless production where you don't have to change the color grading because you're using the same camera all the time. And
it should be said real quick that we're streaming this live and it's a little bit choppy. I've seen the footage. It's actually a lot smoother than what Stig just said. So we'll post this later in the groups. But
yeah, here you can see how it flies. Let me start it over again.
Very
Look at that. That's cool, huh?
Like a natural.
So
and the arms are folded. There's no props. There's no danger. There's no nothing. It just happens to be using the same camera.
Wow. And
one question I got a lot was, how did I mount it? I started with making, of course, I made a 3D printed stuff like this one. And put it on, and that was on that video. But when I was thinking about it, I started wondering, can I do it easier? And I looked in my bag and found one of the good old headband for GoPros. And I pulled off the band and just put on a Velcro instead to wrap around the body very fast. Much easier way to do it and faster than having to unscrew stuff and doing things. Just a Velcro over the body of the drone.
And a lot of us already have that.
Yeah, most of you have one of those GoPro mounts already. So that was a neat way.
Have something to do with it.
Yeah, you can actually use it for something useful.
How heavy is a Mavic with a battery?
1.810 or something like that, I think.
So we are just outside of even specs. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You
Close.
sure it's 1.8? I think.
Another question that's coming up in the group is Joe Stan FPV. Of course, he says FPV, so I'm thinking he's thinking FPV like fast drones, but he wants to know how fast can it go.
That's also a great question. And it's 35 kilometers per hour, which is how fast is that in?
But if you're going to run it really fast, you need end stops, and you need to pre-program the safety distances of braking. That's a neat thing with this. You can run it, test run it, and set points where it should stop and start braking, so you don't run out of line and smash into a tree.
21 miles an hour, Joe. What's up, Joe Stan? I know that guy.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. But
Yeah,
I had a
that's
quick question.
funny point. Yeah.
The heck was my question? One was, how do you guys, like you said, you and your friends studying at the university. Did you guys all were you all film producer, learning that kind of stuff, or was it something different? And you guys just had this idea, and what sparked the idea and made you want to do it?
Yeah, so it was the other guy also called Eivind at his wedding. That's what sparked the idea.
Okay.
So he wanted to have a way to film his wedding in a close setup, get the shot he wanted without having to use a lot of money on expensive gear. So that sparked it, and then he kind of had this meeting at our school where we joined his team kind of, and we were all different backgrounds. Some have been arranging film festivals and stuff, and some were biker, been previous pro biker. And I'm coming from a film kind of film family, film background.
Oh, nice.
So we had all these different backgrounds, but they're all kind of fit together with this idea of making a tool that you can use on festivals, you can use in biking, you can use in the creative space.
You could help each one of these with all your different.
So we're mixed kind of group.
Cool, very cool.
I would like to show you this thing a bit. This is the main unit, and this is the controller. And now I'm running it.
It's very quiet.
Yeah.
It's very quiet.
Wow.
So it's not like I've seen somebody try to make a cable cam of RC car motors.
Oh, that would be loud.
And they are really loud.
It's actually in the beginning we just if you want to hear another story.
Oh, we do. Go for it.
Because as you mentioned, we tried to do it really simple with the RC circuit, which kind of worked, but not as good as we wanted. So we decided to do this with an integrated circuit board and have our own code and get a 3-phase brushless motor and make it more complex to make a smoother and better product. And we thought that can't be that hard. And you should have seen how the product was just a month after we launched on Kickstarter. It was not working the way we wanted, and we hired a guy from
everybody asks how fast, but equally important, how slow can it go?
Yeah, because it has this 21 miles per hour limit, which is for action sport things, but also we wanted to have it be able to do time lapses, so you can also go 0.001 kilometer per hour, which is so slow you can't even see it moving. Wow. But if you're doing a 1 or 2 hour time lapse, then you can get these real dynamic time lapses.
That's cool.
And long time lapses, which is.
I know there has been some questions about this. Because several people that have tried to make time lapses with 50-meter line, they never get to finish the line because they are out of battery before they finish the line when they run the slowest. Even the fastest time lapse setting is quite slow.
Yeah, that's
You plan to make some possibility to do firmware upgrades via app or control it via app?
yeah, and it's actually right around the corner. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to do it anyway. But the firmware, we're releasing like an app in not a long time, and that is going to be fixing a lot of these stuff, because we've been gathering information from our users or our test users and people we already ship to, and one of those feedbacks is they want to change the speed of, say, the time lapse, and so we're going to release like a firmware that reduces noise in the motor, slower time lapse, and some other specs that I don't think I can say, but it's coming definitely from new updates.
Nice.
Which I think we definitely need. So, and it's really nice to get this feedback from our users and from other people that even haven't used it. But we wanted this product to be for the creators and for the people that are creating videos.
Yeah. Is there any questions from the viewers?
We had a question about the stop system, but I think we've already covered that. Other than that, Doug wants to know if he can. He's 6'2" and 195 pounds. He says he's going to see if it'll carry him. Yeah, no, Doug. It's if you do try this, be sure and film it. We want to watch you do this and share this with us.
Please send us a well.
Yes, we want to see this.
We want to see what you're using to haul your butt around with that. You got like one of them swings, or like what do you got?
Oh, I know where Tommy was going with that.
Never.
Just no. Just no.
Nah.
No.
By the way, Sam,
that thing looks really neat. Like for what that is and what you get, it's got to be something that would be really easy for like a photography professional, videographer, somebody professional to just quick wrap up, throw it in the car, break it out, quick setup. Really, I mean, is it that easy? It looks like it's that easy because it doesn't look like it's really taking up a lot of trunk or car space or anything. Or
yeah. So the whole idea with the product was to make, and it was kind of drone inspired, the whole thing about being like as affordable as possible, and also like a high quality product. Like even if it's affordable, it should still feel like a nice quality product and work that way. And also the next point is like being super portable and easy to use. That was like the most important things for us while developing this. So that's why we did like this fish rope reel that Stig showed. So you can set it up in minutes. And also you can put it in your bag and just bring it with you like
maybe I should show the transport case. You can, there's also a travel case for it if you buy that. That has this size.
oh wow, that's it.
Where you have everything inside the box.
Oh, that's perfect. My gosh. And did Stig say earlier that it's made of aluminum?
No, it's a soft box, a mix between soft and hard box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this line is very simple. You put it over around something, close the hook, pull out the line. When you come to the other end, you lock it like this. And this is the unique thing about it. You have it's not a sex toy. It's not a sex ring. It's
it's twice in one show we've referenced a sex toy.
To put it in like this, and there's a tightening mechanism here to tighten it up. So you just tighten it, and in this end there's a hook. You just put it around something, and I found it very useful indoor, just to put this hook behind the door and close the door and pull it tight. Man, that's simple.
That is.
Yeah, that's really nice for real estate. And
so some of the things.
So for real estate, it's done in 10 minutes to put it up inside the house. Less than 10 minutes.
Hey, if I can share an impression, because when we were covering the Super Bowl in Atlanta this year, one of my cameramen with me said, I brought up this Wiral cam and I said, hey man, have you seen this thing? You know, because we were talking about it with our guys, and I said, have you seen this thing? He goes, seen it? I have one. And I said, oh my gosh, really? He goes, oh yeah, I went on Kickstarter and I love these Kickstarter things. And so I went ahead and got one and it just recently shipped to me. And he goes, do you want to play with it? And I said, I absolutely want to play with it. And you know how, I mean, you can just imagine when you're covering a Super Bowl, you are just jammed for time. There's no time. So I was in my hotel room one night and I grabbed this thing. It was in the kit. I opened it up and within minutes, I had actually strung it from one of the parts of the door mechanism, and I strung it across my hotel room to another fixed point on the other side, hung that thing up there, and I actually had my iPad on it, and I was running my iPad back and forth through my hotel room. It is so simple, and it runs so smooth. This thing is very well put together. I had no idea, but I shouldn't be surprised, that Norwegians came up with this incredible system for reeling the line. It's very, very clever. And the first time I picked it up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen a way to organize and to maintain line like that. Because, you know, if this wasn't in a correct system, that could turn into a huge mess. And you have all that linked and it just stays so nicely bundled and you can just, you know, string it out, reel it up, you're good to go.
Thank you so much for your kind words. That means a lot.
Very well done.
And that's what we work towards, like this. I'm gonna like replay this video and show it to the production team, and they're gonna be like, they're gonna be working for like 2 years, fueled on this feedback.
Well, that's good news. So a lot of folks that are in the chat room right now are asking about pricing, production. How's the production going? There are people that want to buy this. So would this be an appropriate time to talk about a discount with Stig, or we want to wait a little bit longer?
Let Eivind tell the good news to the people.
Yeah, so I heard about, after I knew that I was going on the show, I called one of our that works with the website, and actually it was possible because we just kind of refurbished, or what do you say, like refreshed the website. So on www.viralcam.com, it's now possible to on any order, like any size of order, you can add as many accessories you want, or just the base kit. And then at the checkout, after you filled in the shipping information and stuff, you can add the promo code Drone Networks, and you'll get like 50% off the whole purchase. And that for one purchase though, so just one for one
time use.
Yeah, one-time use.
That promo code, by the way, is Drone Owners Network, all capitals, all one word.
Yes.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, I'll put it in the comment in the show notes here below after the show's over. But just so everybody who wants to jump over there right now that's talking about buying it, it's Drone Owners Network, all caps, all one word, and you're going to get that discount.
Yeah, and you won't see the discount code field before you have filled in the shipping information and stuff, and then at the like the last payment thing, you can add that. And also on the website, there's more information on how to set it up, and with more pictures and films if you want to be more inspired.
Just to give an input on, if you're planning to order it, I will recommend you to buy the 100-meter line extra, and at least one extra battery at once in the order. It has a good runtime on the battery. It's a rechargeable battery, but I would like to have, if I had to order it today, I had to order it one more battery. Just because you're out in the field and you're running out of power, it's nice to have an extra battery.
We should tell people that the remote actually runs on, are they AA or AAA batteries?
AAA.
AAA. Yeah. So the remote runs on AAA batteries. I suggest throwing some lithium AAAs in there, and you're just going to have a field day with it. The actual unit itself is running on I believe it's not a LiPo, it's a lithium ion. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so it's an actual lithium ion versus a lithium polymer. It's small. It's like a 2-cell, right?
I think it's 2 or 3.
I'm not sure. It's 3-cell.
3-cell.
A 3-cell. Okay, and it comes with the wall charger and things. So it's yeah. But Stig is right. If you think that you're going to be using this nonstop all day, plan ahead, buy another battery.
Yeah, I'm going to make some tips on how you can use the 100-meter line for a multiple scene setup, where you change the angle of where you go around with the line. Very easy. It's a special knot that's used by mountaineers and stuff like that, and people like that. Very special knot. Somebody probably knows it. It's called a butterfly knot. So you can make a loop in the midline in the middle of the line to attach it to another, so you can change angle, and then you just run it to that knot and move it over. It's a way to use the long line to set up for several shots in one setup.
That's cool.
If somebody wants to see something that's truly inspirational and just really awesome, I think this is, even correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is on your website where somebody actually rigs up a Wiral cam going through a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
It is
a really good shot.
It is super cool. And you watch it and you watch it over again and you're like, how did they do that? It's really amazing. Go on his website, check it out, because it's pretty inspirational. And if you use that to kind of inspire you to do some creative stuff, I think you're going to be in good shape, because that's a heck of a shot.
I thought the bow and arrow shot was pretty cool, where you're seeing like the bullet time kind of thing, where you're following the arrow head as it goes through the air. I thought that was pretty creative. One other question for you: what's the runtime? Just generally speaking, what's the runtime with a single battery? I don't know. Did we cover that? I'm not sure.
It really depends on how you use it. So if you're using it uphill, like with an incline, it decreases the battery. And if you have like a really heavy load, but like on a pretty flat line, and on like a normal camera, say 1 kilo or something like that, it should like at least last for 3 hours.
You said 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 and 4 hours.
Wow.
But if you put it on an incline with a heavy camera, of course, and you run it a lot and a lot of acceleration, then of course less.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Curtis.
Yes, sir.
When you open this box and you find the user manual, the things we never read, the men never read this thing. But when you open that on the first page, there's something very interesting. This is the kind of Wiral family humor. It says, "Welcome to our family. Boom! Thanks you for purchasing Wiral Light, and welcome to our family. Please take your brand new Wiral Light slowly out of the box. While reading this, imagine Morgan Freeman's voice."
I always appreciate a user manual with a sense of humor.
Actually, it's fun to read it because there's a lot of good humor inside it. So this is a user manual. I read the whole manual before I start using the product.
Can you just order the manual?
I'm just curious, Randy, did you use the user manual when you put it up in your hotline room?
Yeah, well, first I tried to do it without the user manual, and I was trying to figure out the cord reel, and I quickly went to the user manual. And I should point out, the user manual has amazing diagrams in it. If you're somebody that's a visual learner, you will embrace this manual, because it's good for anybody that maybe has a little bit of a short attention span, so to speak. There's really good information in there. There's good diagrams in there. And so, yeah, Stig's showing it now.
Nice.
You can see it here.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Yeah, very clear and very easy to understand.
So even to answer your question, I tried to do it without the manual, and I had it pretty close. And I'm like, you know what, let me just make sure. And so I went to the manual, and I kind of dialed it in from there, and it really worked out well.
Yeah, because our philosophy was like, because we know people don't read user manuals, so we tried to make it so that you were able to do it yourself, and it seems like you were almost getting it. So that's really cool.
I'm also not really smart, so hopefully other users will be much smarter than me.
Yeah. And then if you read the user manual, there's some Easter eggs there. So.
Right.
Oh, we love Easter eggs. Those are always fun. Lauren says real men don't read manuals. So some of us who use the manuals are going to have to turn in your man card now that you confessed. So I thank you very much for joining us today. This has been a really, really cool deal. Congratulations on your Kickstarter campaign. Congratulations on a fantastic product. A lot of people are interested in this, and when it was first brought to my attention by Stig and said, hey, look what I can do with it when he put his Mavic 2 Pro on there, I was like, whoa, okay, that's definitely interesting, and I see a lot of possibilities with that thing. It really can be used easily in conjunction with your current drone. So this is something, if anybody's thinking about buying, or doing any kind of, and Randy and I had a conversation in one of the Facebook groups the other day about a guy who was doing some real estate stuff with a commercial real estate, and the guy did nothing but drone shots, no ground shots, nothing like that. Something like this would actually benefit that particular individual, running through the store, and hanging a line and having it run down through the, maybe somebody chasing somebody through the store or something like that. Stig has one more thing he wants to add, I can see.
Yeah, that's the Osmo Pocket. There's been a lot of fuss in the US about flying above people with drones. Why not fly the Wiral cam with an Osmo Pocket above people?
Yeah.
It's a very safe
That's
way
no
to do it.
problem.
Yeah, it's very safe to do it like that. And you have repetitive shots that you can mimic over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And one thing I've done with the Osmo Pocket that's very interesting, that's to run tracking on the Pocket. So you walk beside it and you have face tracking activated on the Osmo Pocket. So the camera follows your face when you're walking beside it. And you can shoot the moving shots where you still have locked on the person or the object you're filming.
All while tracking on the Wiral.
Yes, you hands free.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool. Very cool.
I think it's a really good point that Curtis had, or we did not make this product because a lot of people, or when they see our product, they're thinking like this is we're trying to remove drones from the market and we're like a competitor, direct competitor to drones. But it's just like Curtis said, we're trying to make a filmmaker more complete. This is something that you might have been missing while doing a lot of filming, and we just want a filmmaker to be best possible equipped with the best possible tools. And then we think you should have a cable cam in your arsenal and include with your drone so that you can get all the shots that you want to get.
Oh, I can think of 100 shots right now. I mean, I can think of 20 I could do outside and another 100 I could do inside with this. As far as something you fit into your bag and your go bag and you get out there and you start filming, this is groundbreaking. And the price point of it is just amazing. I was really surprised when I found out about it. So I'm thankful that Stig knew about it and told me about it, and we immediately was like, hey, we got to get this guy on our show. So that's really cool.
And thank you so much for having me at the show.
Oh, it's great having you on here. We're not done yet. We're gonna, some of us are gonna get this, and we're gonna do a follow-up show on this, and we're gonna show you some stuff that we make, and you guys can get excited about some of the creative stuff that we do with it. So
we can't wait. That's why we made it.
So yeah, we want to do that, and we got you guys in the groups. Everybody that's watching this is eligible for that discount, so jump in there and get yourself a discount and get this thing going on. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. All of our guys in our chat, you guys are wonderful. We definitely appreciate you. We've got some more great shows coming up with some more great content. I do want to say that May 5th, as far as I know, we are not going to have a show on May 5th. And the reason being is because I'm going to be gone flying with a bunch of guys, and it's an event that's been kind of scheduled for quite a while. So unless Randy or somebody else is going to jump on May 5th and take over for the show for the day, there's not going to be a show May 5th. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week, and bye. No, I can't. I was going to use that somebody else's, but I can't do that. So I'm just going to get out of here with our stuff. Thank you guys.
Thank you.